All right, welcome to our presentation. With you two being new to first grade and new to Castleberry ISD, I wanted to show you Pebble Go, which is an app you can use to with your students to do research. So with that, I want to start off by asking a question. What are some ways that we can develop research skills with first graders?
Hmm. Using apps.
Using apps, okay.
Picture books.
Picture books, okay.
Mm, Asking questions.
Yes, asking questions.
Field trips.
Field trips, yes, that's good. All of those are good answers. Virtual field trips, if you're not able to get out to field trips, picture books for younger students. And also, let's see, you said apps, which we're going to look at today. And I'm trying to think what the other one was.
Books.
Books. There was another one. Oh, asking questions. And asking questions is great with first graders in the beginning too. So I show you here, there's these two pictures and it says, what animals do you see? You see that there are very close-up pictures of different animals. And I put those in there for a reason. So I'll explain that to you once we get there. So look at the first picture, the one up closer to the top. What animal do you see?
Dragonfly.
Okay, and then the one down towards the bottom.
Peacock.
So this is actually part of Pebble Go. This is something that the students can do. I'm going to have y'all sign in a few minutes, but right now I just want to show you where I found this on Pebble Go, and I'll explain to you how to sign in also. So to find this on Pebble Go, if I go into animals and I go down here to games, and the one I chose is Zoom, and this is something that the students can do on there to exit out of there because of the noise. Okay. Oops, exit out of there so we can. So that's something that the students can do on there. They have options, they have games options where they can go in and do some exploring before they start to do research. You'll have a chance to explore Pebble Go, but I wanted to show that to you now so that you could get an idea of where I got this information from. And the reason I showed you that is because in HMH, which is your reading and language arts curriculum, I'm just going to tell you what that is now because you'll learn a lot more about that once you are in the curriculum meetings, and that's for your coordinators to explain. So in Module 3, which is mid-September, your essential question is, how do animals' bodies help them? And that is the focus question that you'll be focused on for those 3 weeks of that module. And so I put that in there to show you how Pebble Go could be something that the students and that you use in the classroom. So you see there, I show you the username and password for Pebble Go is school, but I want to show you one more thing before I have you guys get in there. So teachers accessing Pebble Go. There's actually 3 ways that you can access Pebble Go. You can go to the district website and you can use Clever to log in. You can also go to the district website and go through the libraries page. Or you could go to pebblego.com. We're going to use pebblego.com today because the problem we have right now with it being summer, you're not able to get in through Clever. You could get in through the libraries, and I can show you that route too. Students will go to the district website and they'll go to Clever Student Links. Once they've signed in once through Clever, it will become a single sign-on. So you may have to help them with the username and password the first time, but after that, it's a single sign-on and it'll automatically log them in. So that will help out. I'm going to go back to here and show you. So I'm on the Castleberry ISD website. Students would come here to the students link and go to Clever Student Link. It's not on there right now just because of summertime. Staff would come here to the staff drop-down menu, and then you have Clever as your second one there. You can go through libraries right now. And I know this is a lot to remember, so I will share the presentation with you and the recording of this afterwards so that you have that information. So if you go to the A.V. Cato Library and you go to resources, you'll see that PebbleGo is one of the resources here, and you could log in that way. But for today, we're just going to do the easiest way, and we will go through just go through pebblego.com. So I'm going to show you a few things on there, and then I'm going to give you guys time to explore PebbleGo, and then we will finish with a scavenger hunt. So once I get into PebbleGo, you saw the sign in up at the top. It automatically logged me in because I've been on. I will share the username and password with you. So at the home screen, you have two options. You have articles and books. If I go into books, it has nonfiction and fiction. Now, there's not many resources in there now. I don't know if they're going to add more resources. That will be a question for PebbleGo to ask them that. But right now, there's just 8 books in there, and students can use those books. Teachers can use those books. But if I go back to home, articles is where you're going to get most of your resources from. So the most resources that you'll find are the in the article section. So once we get there, you see that there are different subjects. You have animals, biographies, health, social studies, and science that are on there. Because the module 3 that begins mid-September is going to be about animals' bodies and how they help them, we're going to go into animals first. And y'all aren't going to go yet. I'm just going to show you right now. So you have all these different subtopics here for animals. So if we're talking about animal adaptations or how their bodies help them, where do you think we might go first?
Animal behaviors.
Yes, that is correct. And if you remember, I showed you that Zoom in activity was down there at games. There's also a question of the day. And so you have, which is your favorite marsupial? You can choose the one and vote. And it gives you for today what people voted on. Ooh, mine was the least. Okay. So that's just some of the things that you can do with students or they can do while they're in here. So yes.
Animal behavior.
Animal behavior is where we would go. And then you see animal adaptations
Adaptations.
is the next option. And so several things to look at when you're in here. If you
Animal
look
behavior.
up there towards the top on the right, you see where it says Espanol. For the bilingual classes, or if you have a student that is a Spanish speaker, they can change they can click on that Espanol and it'll change everything to Spanish. And if I go back to English, right here, this yellow button with the arrow, it will read to them.
A habitat is the place where a plant or animal lives.
So that's an option for your students that may need help with reading and need to listen, have someone read it to them. And if you look, there are different tabs at the top. So if we were talking about animals and how their bodies help them,
Body shape.
we might go into the different categories and have that question answered. If you look down at the very bottom, there's 4 different things that students can also do in here. You have sight. You might not use that as much with first graders, at least for the beginning of the year, but it will cite that for them if they are going to cite something in something that they're writing. It has articles for them to read that are on paper. It has an activity. Draw a picture of an animal's adaptation. My favorite adaptation is facts about adaptation. And then one thing that is a favorite for the kids is the videos. And so it shows different videos of the animals and some of the things that they do. Let's see, make sure I got everything on here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you guys time to explore Pebble Go. I guess before I do that, do y'all have any questions?
Thanks.
Okay, so if you go to pebblego.com,
Do you know of a specific animal that's in module 3?
so I'm trying to think of what the stories are. Let me go back to here and look at what the text sets are. They do have one about a bird nest, so I know that they have birds in there. They have squirrels, giraffes, and then they focus on different body parts like best foot forward, whose eye am I? But I do see several things about birds. So that's a good question to help you really focus in on a specific animal that you could show them before they get in there. So the username for Pebble Go, and this is for students and teachers, is AB Cato, all lowercase, no spaces. And then the password is easy, it's school. And I'm gonna give y'all about 4 minutes just to spend some time going through Pebble Go and exploring Pebble Go. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Sure. Old black thumbs. They kick the predators to scare them away. They can run more than 30 miles an hour.
Well, you go all about money, they tell you about your taxes.
Branches.
I wish they had this when I was younger.
I will say that one thing I like is like, I looked up giraffes. But I can click on read more. And it will give me more information about mammals. So it also puts it in a category. Because if I was to ask my first grader, okay, well, what is a giraffe? What type of an animal is it? And they might not know what category it would be into. Because mammals is a lot more
Mhm.
than most kids know.
Mhm.
Because mammals live in water. Mammals are people, they're dogs, they're whales, all of those are mammals, but I like how it gives you more information than what you're just looking for. And
Yeah.
then you can keep going, because it's reading about insects and about fish and.
And that was one thing I didn't even show you was the read more option. So good job finding that. And that is so Pebble Go in our district, we typically just use for kinder, first and second. And so you're definitely gonna have students at way different levels. So you may have students that need everything read to them, and then you may have students that that are gonna be just fine with going to the read more and reading more information on the animals. About one more minute and then we'll come back together.
Life cycles is good too, because it teaches them the whole process of it. And as they get older, they're gonna need to know the life cycles of a lot of things.
Yes, and that section that I showed you, that animal adaptations, isn't the only way to find more about how their bodies help them. That just seemed like the most obvious way to go in to start off. But there's so many different ways that they can find out more information about.
Yeah, because even if you just click on, I went to birds and it tells me I can go into what their body looks like. I can go to the habitat. It tells me what they eat,
Mhm.
their life cycles. It even gives me a fun fact about them. And then, of course, being able to read more about not necessarily just birds, just read more of. So if I click on it, it gives me 2 different types of birds that I could also read about.
Mhm.
Like this one, the Taylor birds make their nest by sewing leaves together.
Oh, that's interesting.
They use cotton feathers and materials to sew it so that it's stronger.
Hmm.
And to camouflage them, their birds are born completely green, which is why they use the leaves.
You're learning lots about birds today. All right, I know y'all are just started exploring, but I'm gonna go back to the presentation. You're gonna have a little bit more time to explore because I'm going to let y'all work in pairs, work together to complete the scavenger hunt. And then once you have finished that, then we'll look at that together. And
Take one and pass it down.
yeah, we'll look at it together and we'll go over the answers together while you're working on that. So there's just 10 questions and the last question is kind of an open-ended question. So I think maybe about 5 minutes.
Castleberry. Clever and something else that I don't remember. But I know if I go to Castleberry's website, I can find it.
Clever and something else, kind of the basic way that you would go if you don't have access.
Mm-hmm. Or you can go to libraries.
Mm-hmm. And remember, y'all are working together, so. We're not in a competition, y'all can work together.
So on question 2, where would students go to access Pebble Go? when the students access, do they log in through Chrome, and does it take them to a platform, or do they always have to go to Castleberry ISD?
There, so they have at the bottom, they will have an app that has their clever student links,
Okay.
and they can just click on that app. And it'll take them directly to all their student links.
I'm gonna put clever app during school year.
Okay, yeah, I didn't want to go into too many details because I didn't want to overwhelm y'all. All of this will start to come around as you get in and see the different options that you
You
have.
remember the school login, username and password?
Oh, yes. Mhm.
And you can go on school. What's on the home screen, what options do the students have? Now go back to the home screen. Once on the home screen, what options do students have? So there's 5, but you're just wanting 2.
Just the two main ones that are
Okay.
right there in front of them.
Animals and
Go back further. So the home screen, as soon as you log in. So if you
Oh.
go up to the very top, that little
Ah,
home,
okay.
yeah.
articles and books. Which option above has the most resources for students? What would you say? Articles or books?
Article.
Where would I change the language to Spanish in the back?
Up at the top. Yes.
Start at the home screen. What steps do I take to find animals applications? So we're gonna go back to home. Home. Article.
I have about 3 more minutes and I'll see where you guys are.
Then we said Alex said animal behavior.
Mhm.
And then. Let's see, what choices for the students will be this screen. Oops. Fifty one. No, it's loading. Site. Article. What did you find that? This app would read the text to students. Yes. There's one way you can use People Go in your classroom.
So the last question is more of an open-ended one where there's no right or wrong answer.
As first grade, I think just research more about a favorite animal, because if I let them choose a favorite animal, they're gonna be more engaged in it than if I was to say, okay, well, we learned about this in HMH. Now go read more about it. But if you change it and say, what's your favorite animal? And let them do research, they might find more on it.
information. Yeah, that's a
And
good point.
which makes them want to use the site more.
Yeah.
Than just click, click, click.
Because it gives them buy-in because they're getting to make their own choices.
Mhm.
Okay, are we ready to look at the answers?
Yes.
All right. So I have the page up there that you guys were working on, and then I just put the answers over there to the right. So for number one, you have pebblego.com, Clever, or the libraries page. Right now, Clever is not an option, but it will be once the school year starts. Number two, where do students go? I think we kind of said this because that was a question about whether they had a app on there. So where do the students go to access PebbleGo?
So that's the Clever link,
Mhm.
but you said that they'll have it down at the bottom of their screen.
Yeah, at the
Okay.
very bottom on that
Yeah.
little toolbar, they'll have Clever down there to go to. So I tried to put it on almost every page of the presentation. What is the school username and password?
Ada school.
Yes, everything's lowercase, no spaces. And like I said before, you may have to help them log in the first time. That's also something that we can do in the library. But once they've logged in once, then it'll be single sign-on for them. Let's see. Once on the home screen, what options do students have?
Articles and books.
Okay, and which option has the most resources for students?
Articles.
How would they change the language back and forth from English to Spanish or Spanish to English?
At the top of the screen there once you log in, it gives you the option to click the yellow.
Okay,
English or Spanish.
and then if you start at the home screen, what steps do you take to find animal adaptations?
You answer.
Articles, animals, animal behaviors, and then animal adaptation.
Okay, and let's see, once they are in animal adaptations, it doesn't have to be that because those choices will be at the bottom, anything they're in. But once you're in animal adaptations, what choices are at the bottom of the screen for the student?
Site, article, activity, and video.
Okay, and then will the app read to the students?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and what is one way, I know you said one way you could use PebbleGo in the classroom. Do we have any other ways?
When needing to research something, like
Okay.
they give us an animal or something that we need to research, we can go into that animal in the search button.
Thinking about PebbleGo, how comfortable do you feel navigating PebbleGo? Based on where you were before we started the session to now, do you feel better? Do you feel like you need more information, or do you feel pretty comfortable navigating it?
I feel comfortable, and I think with as basic as it is for as early as first grade, it's a great site to use. It's very minimal to get
Yes.
to places. You don't have to click to get to somewhere else, to get to somewhere else, to get to somewhere else. Everything has information.
My first grader at home could work this very easily.
The other thing is, I don't know if you noticed when I was going in there and when you were in there, most everything will like, you hover over something and it tells you, it reads it out loud to what it is. So that's helpful also. Are there any questions?
No, I think, giving us teachers the option to come to the library to walk the students through it the first time and have that extra hand to help log us in would be very beneficial for that first login.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you make that suggestion, because I think that would be good for the very first one. And then once the kids get used to it, you'll have less that will need the assistance, but having an extra hand to help
Mhm.
walk them through it would be excellent.
Okay, thinking about how can I support you in the library? And if you don't know that answer, then I kind of put that question up there but I think you kind of already said, how that support could happen with PebbleGo. Another option to think about is maybe you introduce it through HMH, and then when they come to the library, then they're doing their research. That would be one option. Or it could be the other way where they come into the library and I introduce Pebble Go to them, and then they do research in the library and do have time to research in the classroom. Those are a couple of ways. I kind of put that there because it's important for me to let y'all know that, you know, I kind of gave you all the information today, but we can definitely collaborate and work together on other modules and come up with ways that the library can support you and support the students.
And knowing that I have somebody else that can help, as long as I communicate what my students are doing, I think that's excellent to be able to have another option for whenever they come to the library. They can do a little bit more research if they need more time. Or
Yeah.
they're able to come and ask you if they're looking for a book because they couldn't find more information. A lot of times we don't realize that we can work together with the library and get things like this done.
All right. Well, thank you two very much. If you have any other questions, let me know. And I'm going to stop there.